Can't escape from the team called the morning steam. It's time to break one for cover. That's gonna cover, that's gonna cash. Then we make the 100-yard dash to the window. I don't know what you thought. It's Ramon Scott running so hot. Sports make money and we make money with sports money every single day. NFL, NHL, NCAA. Stay away from the juice, we might play a parlay. It's the morning steam. What? Ramon Scott. Sports money. What? Wake your ass up and let's get to the money. Get to the money. You know how we do it.
All right, and Happy New Year, everyone, from the Sports Money Network. This is Ramon Scott, and welcome to the Morning Steam for Wednesday, January 1st, 2025. I've typed the year correct. I'm writing the checks correct. I've got the date correct here on the first day of the year. Happy New Year, everybody. Let's make it a great 2025. We do have some bummer news to start with today, just less than 12 hours away from the culmination of the college football quarterfinals tonight. We see the tragedy today in New Orleans. Hope everything is great with the people down there tonight and we can play our game. I don't think it's going to be affected, but we did see the terror incident with the truck running over the people there in the French Quarter, and we know there were a lot of football fans in town, but just revelers last night from the New Year. So we'll start our show thinking of people who were affected today, and we'll go on with our show. But it looks like everything will be on schedule tonight for the game. The incident happened just a few miles, of course, from the Superdome there, and obviously an area where they've been plenty of times before with football fans and people celebrating the new year, but the incident just maybe 5 hours ago, so they're still sorting things out. The suspect was killed. He was trying to inflict a lot of damage, actually, so some heroes in the mix as well from our police down there, so hopefully everything will go without a hitch tonight in the game at the Sugar Bowl tonight with Notre Dame and Georgia, but certainly we'll think about those folks today and all of our games today in the college football playoff after last night. Maybe the game was closer than the score indicated last night. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was meant to be with Penn State crushing Boise State. I did not enjoy the college football. I enjoyed it, but I didn't enjoy the results there yesterday. Man, I'm wondering if I should even make any picks today with the college game, but we will. And we'll talk college football playoff today. We've got NBA night card, 8 games here tonight. So we'll be loaded up, 1 game in the NHL, and we'll look at some college basketball too, a very manageable schedule here. And I think we'll just have a modest little show today to start the new year. So thank you, everybody, for joining me here today. And hopefully for the next 360, I'll say 360 days this year. We'll see how many days I take off in July. But nonetheless, we'll be here every other day from now until next year on the Sports Money Network. We figure to be a big, big year, and exchanging some messages with Mike last night. And he's got some big things planned, as you guys already know. So let's have a great year starting with tonight, and let's have some winners starting with tonight. Now, I was able to find a profitable day last night, but no thanks to my football picks. I still went 13-11 with my premium picks, including 6-2 in college basketball, 5-2 with my premium picks in the NHL. But I don't want to talk about my college football, but we'll talk about a few winners anyway. And you guys had some winners yesterday here on the show, going up against me a little bit. So we'll talk about today's schedule and see what you guys have to do with the games tonight. But I just want to mention the kind of results from last night's games here in college football with our bowl games, including the playoff game last night with the 31-14 victory. Penn State over Boise State. Drew Aller, 3 touchdowns in the win. It was Keaton Allen and Nick Singleton rushing for over 220 yards. Allen really demolishing his player props. They're looking very good. He was a heavy chalk, it felt like, in a way, to have a big night, and he did. Genty still had 100 yards in the loss on 30 carries, the first back to get 100 yards against the Irish. He didn't get that number he was looking for, but still, no one, I say the Irish, the Lions, no one had rushed for 100 yards. Genty was able to do it, but really it was just more mistakes by Boise. Maybe it was the moment was a little too big, couple of missed field goals, but the 10 penalties really sealed the Broncos' fate. It felt like yesterday. Uh, their quarterback looked okay with 300 yards passing, but the 3 interceptions early really cost Boise State. So even though it was a 17-point game, maybe it felt closer, maybe it didn't. It was a one-score uh, game as far as the spread was concerned, but seemed like never in doubt there with Penn State over Boise tonight. Of course, other games will get underway here in just a few hours, a little less than 4 hours from now, with Peach Bowl, with Texas and Arizona State. You'll have that Texas defense trying to slow down Scattaboo and Levitt for the Sun Devils, followed by the granddaddy of them all, Oregon and Ohio State. Dylan Gabriel, all 5'11" of him, going up against the Buckeyes and that great defense with Sawyer and Mayo. We'll see what happens. Maybe that is the marquee matchup of all the quarterfinal games, but also Georgia and Notre Dame tonight with the tragic backdrop there. But still, the Bulldogs will have their backup quarterback in there. We'll see Gunnar Stockton against that defense of the Irish tonight. So other games yesterday, you had Michigan over Alabama, 19-13 in a big-time upset. The win for Michigan over Alabama represented the second biggest upset point spread-wise in bowl game history. It doesn't seem like it would be a team from Michigan that would be one of the biggest underdog winners in bowl game history, but that's what they were, more than 2 touchdown dogs for the most part, and they were able to come up with the win thanks to those 3 turnovers. Michigan over Alabama. SEC sit down is what it was yesterday. The game of the day, the Sun Bowl with Louisville over Washington, 35-34. Damon Williams, 4 touchdown passes, but still Louisville's able to get the win there yesterday. You guys had the pick consensus winner yesterday, Louisville and Washington. Great job from the chat. That one goes over 69 points there in that one. It was Illinois beating South Carolina in a rude game out at the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl. I woke up feeling cheesy this morning, but it was the Illinois Fighting Illini beating South Carolina. Josh McCray, 114 yards and 2 touchdowns for the Illini. Of course, the coaches were yapping at each other, kind of embarrassing there, actually, the immaturity of the coaches there and the incident that occurred. But nonetheless, another upset there. And late night, it was Baylor over LSU, 44-31. Nussmeier, 300 yards and 3 touchdowns, 44-31 LSU. We did have a winner. We found a winner. I found a winner there with the over Baylor and LSU there yesterday. But other than that, I was having a hard time figuring out the football. So I'll need your help today with the big quarterfinal games. I hope I'm ready to go in the quarterfinals, but wasn't ready to go yesterday. Let me say hello to some folks here and get the show underway. Thank you to the chat here on New Year's Day. We're going to see who's in here and get rolling. It was hello to Alvin. He was here to start us off. Thank you, Alvin. Good morning to you. Happy New Year, Sir Mackey said. So many blowouts yesterday in basketball. Hey, we were on a few of them for sure in the NBA, especially, right? We said Boston Celtics here on the show to blow out Toronto, and boy, did they ever. We also have the over with the Milwaukee Bucks and the Indiana Pacers here yesterday. I did have some premium pick winners in the NBA, including Clippers and the Spurs game to go under. Shout out to Mikey Money. He did have the Spurs in the game last night over the Clippers on pregame. Mike made the call there yesterday. Also, we had the Cleveland Cavaliers and LA Lakers game to go over as a premium pick winner yesterday. Of course, LeBron celebrating his birthday there a day after his 40th birthday. Looked pretty good, but the Cavaliers looked way better yesterday to win again. We called it here on the show, taking the Cavaliers. We also had Memphis last night against Phoenix. So okay day in the NBA with our premium picks 2-2 record, and we did have some winners on the show. Thank you, Sir Mackey. Cash Kane here, ready to go with our Steam plays coming in. Thank you, Cash, for being here. Let's cover some of these, I think, here coming in. Super true. Happy New Year to you. And Katie Wynn, thank you for being here today. Also, Jake Dye here. We got 50 of you here on New Year's Day. We have some parade action up into the Rose Bowl before. I've watched the parade. I've watched the some great games. I've been to the Rose Bowl football game. Pretty good experience. Maybe it was a while ago, but thank you, everybody. Katie, thank you. You're passing that along to the chat there. And all right, we'll hopefully get ready to go with some of our chat all-stars. Hello, stars. Hope we got Thomas here soon. But hey, it's New Year's Day. Oh, there he is. I missed it. I'm sorry. There's my guy. Oh, I missed half the comments. Something here. Ramon on technical difficulties. Maybe I need to be replaced by a robot in 2025. Good morning, everyone. Like this video, subscribe to our channel, Sports Money here on YouTube. Everyone's here but me, apparently. The fastest growing channel for sports betting content here on YouTube. Also, Joe W. Hello, Curtis Mann, ready to go. Thank you, everybody, for your support here. Even if I was a bummer yesterday, we did have a pretty college basketball. I think we're on it. I think we're on it here for sure in college basketball, especially my totals. I think the subscribers can see where I have my strengths there. College basketball totals for sure. If we just stuck to them, we'd probably be, we might be on vacation. I don't know. Hello to Robert. Thank you for your support. Erica, thank you for being here today as well. Nicholas Handy, Gary Ferentz, nice to have you here for 2025. Flea Mathis, thank you, Flea, for chiming in and supporting the channel. Happy New Year. Doubles, thank you for being here. Happy New Year. Nasty Nate says the Celtics smashed. Hope Nasty Nate knows that I was calling for a Celtics smasher yesterday. And like I said, I know the Celtics better than Nate knows the Celtics. Maybe not totally with him being a huge Celtics fan, but this year I brag about it every show. Let's get to some of these moves that are coming in right now, and then let me say hello to everyone here. I think I caught up there. I missed all those comments. And Oldie, thank you. Here we didn't get the winner yesterday in the consensus picks for Cash Kane, but we did have a few of those winners come through, but we didn't get them all. I know that. Fernando, hello. Abel A, thank you for being a great new contributor for the most part, but we know you've been around the block here, so to speak. Jermaine, hello as well. Let's talk about some Steam here to get the show started today with some moves here, mostly college basketball right now, and then we'll get to the show. But just moments ago, Villanova and Butler took some steam to the over here with uh, the cats and dogs tonight with Villanova and Butler steam to the over here in this one with the move coming in at 146 or so. It's probably up to 147 right now with Villanova and Butler game to go over. Also, Steam, NBA, New Orleans, and Miami. This one moving to the under here right now at Miami. The total there was 222.5. I expect this one to end up here around 221 right now with some steam to the under here with New Orleans and Miami this morning. Also, other moves that came in while we were doing the intro a little bit here would be top of the board, Youngstown State and IU Indianapolis game total moving to the under here on some steam. It was 142. We'll call it 141 right now with Youngstown and IU Indianapolis. Also, Utah and the Knicks took steam here to the under in this one. It was around 231.5, but now we're looking at about 230, I believe, here with the Jazz and the Knicks. We know the Jazz have been going over big time, so maybe this road trip is getting a little weary, but nonetheless, the move here is on the under, but I don't know. The Jazz have been going over big time. They've found their offense a little bit here. Also, a couple more here. How about Greensboro and Wofford? We're seeing steam to the under here in Greensboro and Wofford. It was 138.5, and now we're going to have it at 137.5 in the game with Greensboro and Wofford. That'll get us caught up anyway on the moves that have occurred here over the last 30 minutes or so as I was getting ready for the show and saying hello to you guys today. In the NHL last night, we did have quite a few winners, I thought, yesterday. In fact, we went 5-2 in our premium picks. We started off the day with a sweep of the game between Boston and Washington. We gave you the Washington Capitals here on the show and the under as well in that Capitals win yesterday. Also, we had a winner here on the show with the Montreal Canadiens on the puck line against Vegas. They did do the job against the Golden Knights. We also had the Blues and the Blackhawks game to go over in the Outdoor Classic, and it did sneak over for the most part. Most of you probably had that number at 5.5. I think it was a 4-2 game there yesterday. Also, premium pick winner here on the show with the Minnesota Wild yesterday. And also want to shout out Mikey Money on that one. He had the winner on pre-gaming Predators and Wild game to go over. We had the Columbus Blue Jackets yesterday on the puck line. Premium pick winner as they beat Carolina 4-3. Also gave you the winner here on the show on the over in that one. Now, I did play these games here on these totals. Hopefully, we're able to subscribers are able to, get a little bit of alternate lines, or I don't want to say alternate lines, but I played the juiced lines on a couple of games here yesterday. I figured they might be tighter, but nonetheless, we did have winners. New Jersey and Anaheim game to go under yesterday. We bought it up to 6.5 and put the juice on it. Minus 25 there, I think it was in our picks, but that's where we went. We had the winner there yesterday with the Devils and Ducks game to go under. Mikey had that one too on pre-gaming. I don't know if he juiced it up or took the 6 nonetheless, but also, I had the Ducks here on the show on the puck line. Also, Pittsburgh and Detroit. We did buy it down, took the total over, got the win there. We also had the Red Wings here on the show yesterday. Also, Buffalo and Dallas game. We bought it up, took it under in that game with Buffalo and Dallas. We also had a winner here on the show, Vancouver and Calgary game to go under. All right, a couple more to say hello to. T Moss is here today. Let's get going here. Oh, let me recap the college basketball real quick. We don't have a lot of games today, or at least a modest number of games. So let's recap here. We had some premium pick winners in college basketball with a 6-2 night, 6-2 day, I should say. And we're going to roll this early card here today. West Virginia was a premium pick winner for us yesterday. We gave out the under here on the show. Also, Tulane and Charlotte premium pick winner over at winnable.com. We had it here as our one of our premium plays, Tulane and Charlotte game to go over. Also, we had Central Florida over Texas Tech, taking the points there yesterday as a premium winner yesterday. Also, St. Louis and Fordham game to go under as a premium pick winner here yesterday. We gave out on the show Bonaventure plus a couple of points against VCU, a winner here on the show. Also, Georgia Tech premium pick winner over Notre Dame. Yesterday, we had the Yellow Jackets over the Irish as our premium pick. Also, winner on the show here yesterday, St. John's and Creighton game to go under. We also had a premium pick winner, Arizona State and BYU game to go under. And also, late winner, premium pick, Utah State Nevada game to go under to finish 6-2 in college basketball. You want to pick up my college basketball plays, I would think today we're going to get them out there quick with our early card. And 6-2. Thanks, doubles. Wow, 6-2. They got a few more there late after I think I'd kind of tuned out. They're always fun to watch the outdoor classic, though. I like those special games that they have. There's a little more steam coming in right now with Belmont and Northern Iowa game to go over 150. Was 153, but we're looking at 154 here, it looks like right now, or at least moving up. Belmont and Northern Iowa, we're seeing some steam to the over. That's the last game on the college basketball card. All right. You can get my best plays today over at winnable.com. This is how you follow me, follow my action here. I'm going to give you hopefully some free winners today here on the show, preview all the games, but also you can get my best plays over at winnable.com. /Ramon. Click on the QR code in the lower right hand corner of the screen. That'll take you over to my handicapper profile page over there. And you can subscribe for today's picks for just $4, including the bowl action and those college basketball picks as well, NBA and the NHL game tonight. And also, you can get it $8 for 1 week. Get all my plays there, or $20 for a month. Just 50 cents a day. This is how you support me here on the channel. Keep me. If you don't want me to come back, don't subscribe. But if you do like me here, maybe you can check out the rest of my plays. You'll get them sent directly to your phone. You can set the notifications so that when the plays come out, and you can get them in there, get those bets in time for the games each night. Go over to winnable.com /Ramon to get my best plays here. There we go. Let me catch up here. Let's get the show started here. There we go. Winnable /Ramon. Get it going just like this, and you get the little subscription area here where you can get a monthly rate for just $19.95 there. Use the promo code STEAM to save 20% off of that. It comes out to about 50 cents a day. You're going to get plays sent. There's also a free subscription where I send out some other plays, mostly my non-major sports, if you will, the peripheral games there. And then when you get it sent directly to your phone like this, the plays come up looking pretty crisp, certainly, just like this. They're kind of a rolling media feed there, and you'll get all the plays every day. So, okay, thanks for checking that out. Let's get started with our show right now, including just start with the big ones here, the bowl action today. There we go. Started off with the Peach Bowl here. The Peach Bowl, often the forgotten of we always say the major bowls. The Peach Bowl maybe number 5 out of these, but they get the honor this year of being part of the college football playoff, of course. And we'll take a look at this one with Texas taking on Arizona State today. 1 Eastern and 10 Pacific. From Atlanta, we got Texas here. Obviously, a big favorite over Arizona State, but Arizona State's been a great cover here right now. No doubt about it. One of the hottest covers in the country coming into the postseason for Texas. They're 12-2. 9 of their wins came by 14 points or more this season, but you're taking on a a team that's seated higher here. You got the higher seated team, a 13.5 point favorite. I tried to give the committee some credit yesterday. Maybe that was part of my downfall there yesterday, but Texas here, both their losses were to one team this season, the Georgia Bulldogs. Uh, 30-15 and 22-19, as Texas could not run the ball against the Georgia Bulldogs. They should find it a little bit easier, I would think, here against Arizona State after they ran the ball for 240 yards in 3 of their last 4 games. Outside of that Georgia game, Texas went 8-6 against the spread this season, and Texas is 23-18 as a favorite against the spread with Sarkisian as head coach. Texas has gone under in 7 of their last 10 games overall. They've won 4 of their last 6 bowl games. The underdogs have had their way here at the Peach Bowl over the last couple of years, covering 5 of the last 7 meetings here, but this one's a little more special than the others here. At the Peach Bowl is always a pretty top matchup, so for sure, and this one is probably reflective of the usual quality here in New Orleans for ASU. They're 11-2 this season, which was a remarkable turnaround. Beginning of the season, I tried to pump up the Pac 12 a little bit, that they would be impactful in their new conferences. Instead of being USC and UCLA in their conferences, or Stanford and Cal in their new conference, it turned out to be teams like Arizona State making an impact in their conference in the Big 12. So ASU this year, 4-2 against the spread as an underdog this year. And man, a program that basically went 6-18 over the past 2 seasons to turn it around like this with a great looking back like Scattaboo. This guy, you wonder if his game will transcend to the NFL. He's a different kind of back than Genty, even, it feels like. But I don't know. He's got that McCaffrey feel to him a little bit, doesn't he? With Scattaboo. Uh, so ASU 10-7 against the spread as a dog under Dillingham here. We've seen some news regarding Dillingham. We'll see what the future holds for this program here. ASU really tough in those close games this year. They went 5-0 in games decided by a touchdown or less. They've gone over in 5 of their last 6 games overall. Of course, ASU has not even been bowling over the last 3 years, but they did lose 4 of their last 5 bowls before before they ran into a little tough spot over the last couple of seasons. But wow, what a turnaround this year for the Sun Devils. Yeah, they're getting 2 touchdowns here. Full disclosure, I do have a bet on them here to win the national championship at 55-1. Really just want to get through this one game if they could find a way to upset Texas. But so far, it's been all favorites in the college football playoff. And will that continue today? Let's go to the chat all-stars and see if you guys are going to roll with the favorites once again. Texas, has won 7 straight. ASU's covered 6 straight games here. We'll say this, Arizona State has gone under in 16 of their last 18 non-conference games overall. Now, maybe they were a little more inept on offense here over the last couple of years, but let's see. Might be the chat's ready to go right now here with the Texas Longhorns for Thomas. He'll take Texas here to get this money. Curtis likes the under here in this one. And from what I've seen so far, that feels like the Sharps are kind of thinking about the over here, but I don't know if they've really been that profitable in this spot here. I kind of side maybe with Curtis there. Sir Mackey like an ASU here in this one. Cash Kane wants to go under. Jake Dye, Texas and under here. Robert McCormick says ASU and under. And Dana Delp here yesterday as well. There he is. Bad start, but ended well. I kind of feel that way too. Man, I felt like other than the football, things were going just fine. So I better get these right. It feels like here today. So all right, let's see what. I think that's it for you guys. I'll give you another minute or couple seconds, I guess. I'll give it here in this one, but I got to go with the Texas Longhorns here in this one. I certainly want Arizona State to make a game out of this, but man, it just looks like the committee are a bunch of fools. These underdogs are not coming through at all, and maybe I've given up here on a few of these dogs so far in the playoff. Yeah, yesterday was a disaster day for me in football. We only had the one college football playoff, and we haven't had we haven't taken all the dogs in the college football playoff personally, but man, if the committee's this wrong again, I would think Texas can win by a couple of touchdowns here. As enjoyable as this Arizona State team has been, I hope they make it a game here early on. But what's going on? These guys have screwed up this whole thing. The playoff. Look, we might get some good games out of it. We obviously have some close games following this to talk about. So I guess there are some can't miss matchups here, but looks like they've screwed it up for some reason. They thought Boise, and we've talked about it, right? Even leading up to the playoff and when the seedings were announced a few weeks ago. I know it's a major storyline on all the shows, so we don't have to belabor it here, but we can talk about the betting aspect of it. I'll take Texas to roll against Arizona State in this one. Okay, we got a few more here. Hey, Philly Eagle Flyer, hello. Also, Rich Stubbs, good morning. Takes Arizona here in this one, and Andrew G said they just messed up bad, right? Or when nobody's holding them accountable, they'll just take their victory lap or something and think they did a great job. And look, it wasn't horrible, I guess, last night, right? I guess there was a time where Boise was trying to get back in the game, I thought, yesterday, but kind of getting turned away there with the turnovers, red zone a little bit. So, all right. Let's move on to our next game in the college football playoff, and going to go out and see the Rose Bowl, and should be as Thomas would say, must see TV. It feels like in this one with Ohio State and Oregon. Why are they playing the national championship game in the quarterfinals? Again, the committee here, no clue what they're doing here, right? Didn't they see the first game? This is obviously probably feels like the matchup that, I don't know, that kind of everybody might want. Yeah, Ohio State lost to Michigan, and you're not supposed to do that. And how Ryan Day keeps his job, I guess, after losing to Michigan all these games. I don't know how that works anymore, but nonetheless, we know this was an incredible matchup when these teams met earlier in the season, and why wouldn't it be again here at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena with the Ducks and the Bucks in this one? Man, what a game it was in that first matchup. 32-31. It was the Ducks that got the money. Remember, Ohio State was a 3.5-point favorite in that game on the road, right? So if you think about it here, moving to a neutral site, you still got Ohio State favored here, and there's been no indication necessarily, right, that Oregon's been in any decline or anything like that. So, well, maybe it's a little bit public thinking that lumping in Oregon a little bit with maybe the likes of some of these other newer teams to the scene. That's not Oregon, right? We know Oregon's been in some big games. Yeah, they haven't gotten over the hump ever, and I don't know, will they again this year? Now, this is a team. I did place my largest future on before the season and took Oregon at 7.5 to 1 to win the national championship here. So I'm pretty heavily invested long term here a little bit with Oregon to win this game. But I think they'll be pretty good. Hey, should be one score, should be a field goal game. I feels like here, right? Let's see what you guys get ready in the chat here. But Ohio State, having won all those other games outside of the Michigan game coming down the stretch, they did go under in 7 of their last 10 games overall coming into this one. Of course, the score of the Buckeyes game was the Wolverines game was 13-10 in a complete. But if there was ever one upset game you're ever even in this whole country, right? Michigan, Ohio State, that might be the one where you're like, hey, anything can happen in that game. I don't know. I don't want to ever throw one out. I'm not the throw one out type of guy, but yeah, Michigan comes up and bites them there in that game. So, all right, with Howard here, Ohio State, very capable, certainly, but he's not quite Dylan Gabriel, I would think. I don't know if Dylan Gabriel's game will translate to the NFL necessarily, but can't doubt what he's done here, of course, with Oregon. 5 of their last 7 wins were by 21 points or more. But the Buckeyes, you look at the Ducks, you look at the game that the Ducks had in the win over Penn State, 45-37, right? They allowed in that game. We saw Penn State yesterday in their playoff game and their rushing success. And Penn State, of course, rushed for 292 yards, I think it was, in that game against Penn State. So, anyways, Oregon 1-0 against the spread as an underdog this year, obviously in that game. So Oregon 6-1 as an underdog in their last 7 games as a dog. Now they basically are an underdog about once a year. So I don't know what you can put into that, but this is the second time as an underdog here right now. And under Dan Lanning, they've covered the spread in all 3 games. He has been an underdog here. So the Ducks, remember, they also played Columbus several years ago in Columbus and were able to beat them 35-28. Underdogs have covered 5 of the last 6 Rose Bowls here. And of course, these 2 teams have had success at the Rose Bowl. The Buckeyes won the game just 3 years ago. They won 3 of the last 5 Rose Bowls, I believe. And for the Ducks, they won here in 2019. And they've won before. They won about 10 years ago. I saw Ohio State in the Rose Bowl as well when I was a younger lad. Let's see what the chat has in this one with Thomas. Will get us started off. He likes the Ducks here to get it done, but Sir Mackey says give him Ohio State. And here is Ducks money line, I think that is, for Johnny Walker. Daddy Beats is in the chat today. Thank you for being here. He's got some player props in the NBA. Thank you. Robert likes the over here in this one with Ohio State and Oregon. You saw the score before. Why wouldn't it be a shootout? It feels like here. And Buckeyes here for Cash Kane. Thomas says Ryan Day has trouble with, his halftime adjustments maybe. Abel likes the over here. I think I've seen enough. I'm going over in this one. Come on. I'm going over with Ohio State and Oregon here. Come on. You saw the first meeting. Why wouldn't we have a great, fun game here finally in the college football playoff? And, I don't think it's being understated necessarily in discussing that the games are neutral site games now, bowl games here rather than and that's another thing that was screwed up, right, with the college football playoff. You put those other teams in home game. Yeah, they won here, but Daddy says Oregon got that speed. Hey, hello to Keith. Each and every stride. Good morning to Keith. Happy New Year. Thank you for being part of the Sports Money Network, my man. All right. Oh, there we go. Jake likes the Buckeyes on the money line and the over here in this one. Rich says Ohio State over does seem a little publicy here, so he'll take Oregon and the under. Cash Kane loves the under here. He thinks so. Kind of stiffen up a little bit in this one, maybe compared to the first game, I guess. Thomas here liking the under as well. Rich says, I think I could grab some points here with Oregon in what could be a close game. Dana Delp likes the over as well. And Tom Regard is here. Happy New Year to Tom. All right, I got the over here as my play on the Morning Steam show in the bowl game today. So Oregon, of course, on a long winning streak here right now, no doubt about it. And Oregon has covered the spread in eight of their last 9 matchups against ranked teams, and that's it. Yes, that's it from you guys in the chat, it looks like. So I will take the over with Ohio State and Oregon. All right, let's get to the night game now. And like I said, we do expect, not that the game will not be canceled or anything. Not, that we know we see incidents every day, it feels like nowadays. This one was a little bit, more concerning because you have basically a terror incident with a car just driving down Bourbon Street, I guess, and running over the people on the sidewalk and everything. So a little bit upsetting, but we're going to go forward with the game tonight here with Notre Dame taking on Georgia. A classic, feels like a classic Sugar Bowl matchup, doesn't it? Here tonight with Notre Dame against an SEC team here in this one. And I'm showing the line here right on screen as Georgia -1. But if you look around, you have mostly maybe pick 'em or one at a lot of books. I just think the sharp books right now kind of have Georgia as the favorite here, or I'm sorry, as Notre Dame as the 1-point favorite here, but Georgia is the 1-point favorite at circa right now. So you might even be able to shop around and get your best line here in this game. I guess you could round it off and just say it as a pick 'em here for the most part. Total here at 45. With Notre Dame coming in here at this point looking strong, 12-1. They've won 11 in a row. They've covered 9 of those 11 games right now. Notre Dame, always a disappointment. Not this year. It's been pretty great. And of course, their only loss, it was funny, it was at the game with DJ Big Boss. If you guys follow some of these shows, you know DJ Big Boss, a legend in these parts, in these spaces here, but he's a Notre Dame fan, and he got to go to South Bend, I believe he said, for the first time ever this season, and he's a lifelong Notre Dame fan. And the one game that he chose to go to was the Northern Illinois game. It seems forever ago, doesn't it, right now, that Notre Dame lost that game to Northern Illinois. It almost feels like last season that they lost the game, but their only loss to Northern Illinois at home in that magical day for the Huskies, no doubt about it. Maybe it was a little bit of a different Notre Dame team, or maybe just a Notre Dame team overlooking that smaller opponent there when you have just the type of schedule that Notre Dame plays. Sometimes we make fun of Notre Dame's schedule in some years, right? We're playing Army, we're playing Navy. Well, this year those were tough games, and Notre Dame ended up with a very difficult schedule because of the improvement of some of their annual opponents, I guess we'll just say here. But for Notre Dame. And look, they've been fine. They're 5-0 against the spread in the single digit game. It doesn't matter. They're great against the spread overall. I don't even know if it matters there at that. This point, Notre Dame over in 6 of their last 9 games, and they've been on a roll in the postseason. Notre Dame has won their last 3 bowl games in impressive fashion: 45-38, 27-17, 40-8. They've been on a roll in the postseason games here, the bowl games leading up to the first ever college football playoff. So for Georgia, their big news certainly is that they'll be with going with a backup quarterback here. He did play this year, but with Carson Beck out of the game with his elbow injury, you'll have Stockton here. He was 25 of 32 this season. He could fit the mold for the Bulldogs. Certainly, that's what you get here in the SEC. He's probably a capable quarterback. He did have 1 interception so far this season. Now, Georgia's often overrated in their games. They're just 3-8 against the spread in their last 11 games this season. So I don't mean overrated necessarily by the public. Well, maybe by the public, but by bettors certainly. With that kind of spread record. So you have one team that has demolished the spread this year in Notre Dame, and a Georgia team that, quite frankly, has not covered the spread very well this season. So Georgia 3-1 in games decided by a touchdown or less, and they won their last 4 games coming in, but the last 2 by just 2 points and 3 points. But certainly tough schedule when you're the Georgia Bulldogs. They beat Texas 22-19. They beat up on Georgia Tech and UMass, but also the game against Tennessee 31-17. So like I said, Texas and Georgia Tech games were close. Did I say that one right? 44-42. I think I just said it wrong there, but the Georgia Tech game was a tight 2-point game there. And all right, underdogs are 4-2 in the last 6 Sugar Bowls overall. Georgia's been here before, certainly, but it's been a few years, I think, before the pandemic. For the Georgia Bulldogs. They won the Sugar Bowl, and then they lost it, I think, the following year. But let's go to the chat and see what you guys have here at the Sugar Bowl tonight with Notre Dame and Georgia. All right, we're going to start it off here with Thomas. He likes Notre Dame. Jake Dye says Notre Dame for him. Dana Delp is on Georgia. But Cash Kane says Notre Dame. Sir Megan says, is this a pick 'em, right? You got half the chat looks like they're – no, you know what, though? I got Curtis here on Notre Dame, making it 3-1. But here's Rich Stubbs. He's on Georgia here. Next, let's see here. There's Gary. He's got all of his picks there. Texas, Georgia, and Ohio State. Abel says, give me a Riley Leonard ATD in this one. Abel's got Notre Dame. He'll take a few points here, it looks like. Oh, there it is. There's Abel's pick. Notre Dame and under. All right, and a few more here. James Parm's in the chat, and he's got Notre Dame. Rich says, it sounds like I like Notre Dame. Is that maybe what he's saying there? Notre Dame covered the spread 9 straight. I like teams that cover the spread, I guess. Johnny Walker says he'll take Georgia. And Robert, enjoy your day with your family. Thank you for your support this year. And Philly Eagle Flyer, Notre Dame, first half. And Thomas says he's got it. Notre Dame is a consensus play in this one. How about that? Okay. Well, I guess I do like Notre Dame. So why don't I just make that my pick here on the show? I'll go with you guys in this one and take Notre Dame here I feel like it is a premium play for me, but I like the total, I think, just as much. And if you guys are going to like this one as maybe a consensus play here, I'll take it in this one. Thomas says, make sure he's saying it's our consensus play, no doubt. And Nasty Nate also with Notre Dame. The smash. He's got to like Notre Dame. What's Nasty Nate up to on that? Is that a new avatar there with um, is that the main event? Is that the main event right there? A card of him. And Andrew G says Stockton might not be quite ready for this type of scene, not having some games. You know, he'll be fine once they. And Andrew says, I think that means Notre Dame. How about an Irish car bomb? All right, I guess that's it for this one. I'll take Notre Dame with you guys. Consensus play here at the Sugar Bowl. Enjoy the college football playoff. It's really going to make for a fun day here. You know, it's kind of awkward, right? January 1st used to be, well, used to be when I was really young, and some of you, uh, there'd be 8, 9, 10 bowl games on January 1st, and then they kind of whittle it down to 5 or 6 there for the last several years. Now we've got 3 games on January 1st. It doesn't feel quite right with the way that they've worked it out, but that's the nature of it nowadays. So enjoy though the college football playoff tonight. All right. Put that aside. Let's go to our other coverage here today. It's NBA and NHL college basketball. Just one game in the NHL, actually, though, tonight. So let's take a look at some of the games here. Abel said, oh, the good old days there, says Abel. Yeah, maybe they were. Okay. Oh, that's Nate's man, Pritchard. Okay, cool. All right, let's go to NBA action tonight. We've got an 8-game card. It feels like once we get through with the NBA, the show will be almost over. We'll try to do a little better job in college, but I say better job, and maybe we should just keep doing it the way we're doing in college basketball. Just brush on a few plays. We seem to be pretty good on the show, and then we crush the premiums. But I'm going to get those premiums out right away with this early card today. Maybe I did enjoy a little bit of evening festivities. I would like to have that card out earlier. I'm ready to go with it, but maybe we watched some fireworks last night, and I always celebrate the East Coast New Year so I can get handicapping and rested. Let's go to the NBA tonight with our first matchup here with the Magic and the Pistons. These are all night games tonight. I don't know. Maybe do better, NBA here. Maybe this is the way we need it to get our sports tonight with the Pistons favored here in this one by 1.5. And the total here is 213. It's gone up just a little bit, maybe even 213.5 here right now in this one with the Magic and the Pistons for sure. We've seen this one move higher here right now. The Magic comes in with a record of 19-15 here. The Pistons are 16-15. Oh, maybe they've gone overlooked a little bit. Maybe they've done it quietly here at this point, but the Pistons have done a pretty nice job, it feels like, at this point. And the Magic, while we counted on them to get a lot of, they made some money for their backers, but they've started to give it back here. It feels like a little bit of late, especially as an underdog. They're just 5-8, but the Pistons are 2-6 against the spread as a favorite. So this isn't necessarily a great role for them either. But the Pistons have gone 8-1-1 to the over in their last 10 games. Here right now, Pistons also 5 of their last 6 games to the over here. The series has been an under for the most part. 4 of the last 5 matchups have gone under in this series. The Magic have won 5 straight games against the Pistons coming in. They've covered the spread in 5 of the last 6 games as well. So Magic continuing to look good. Detroit just 5-8 straight up at home, but Orlando here 3-10 against the spread as a dog. But it's still closely rated, so see what you guys want to do here in this one with the Magic and the Pistons. I think the Magic, despite what we keep seeing here a little bit, and with the injury factor coming in, their two stars who've been out of the lineup certainly right now. Cade Cunningham probable for the Pistons here tonight, so that may sway some folks over to the Pistons here. Jalen Suggs probable for the Magic, but I'm going to take the Magic here actually to win this game tonight against the Pistons. In this one, the Magic have dominated the Pistons. Like I said, they've won pretty much every game of late against Detroit. They did win the only meeting this year as well, 111-100 as a 9-point favorite at home here. I'm going to take Orlando to beat Detroit tonight in this one. Here we go and see what you got here. And Sir Mackey wants to go to the moon, Alice, to the moon. And Cash Kane says give him the Pistons. Cash Kane and I are heads up in this one. Sir Mackey likes the over here in this one. Thomas likes Detroit. You guys are liking Detroit. And Detroit for Rich. Man, that's almost a consensus. But I'm on Orlando. Maybe that'll balance it out a little bit. Curtis says if Cade is out, I've got him certainly in this game. I'm not worried about that one, Curtis. I think you can go forward thinking that I've got Cunningham in this game. Fernando's going over here. I want to say good morning and happy new year to Picks from Dave joining us in the chat. And Dave just got here, was talking about our fun excursion last week, but I was talking about Big Boss, talking about his Irish and how he went to the game against Northern Illinois. And Curtis, maybe on Detroit here. All right, feels like you guys are on Detroit, and I'm on Orlando. Uh-oh. Thomas says, Ramon, you got it wrong. Everyone in the chat is on Detroit. Ramon's on Orlando. Uh-oh. Consensus play battle for me tonight. I should have waited. I should have went to the chat first. All right. Well, I'm stuck with it. Here, I'll take Orlando. And, I know Orlando's been giving it back here a little bit of late, just 4-6 against the spread in their last 10. But again, the Pistons not necessarily world beaters here still at this point, but they have won 3 out of their last 4 games. So, all right. Hey, I want to catch up on the steam that I've kind of let slide here today with some of the games here. I'll continue on, but just moments ago, as I was talking about it, the steam, you saw me look over, the steam did come in on the Detroit Orlando game, and that's why we see it up there to 213.5 here right now. Steam to the over with Orlando and Detroit. We just talked about the game, and we're seeing the move to the over at 213.5. Was as low as 211.5. Also, steam came in here in our only hockey game of the day with the Devils and the Kings. The steam came in on the over in that one at 5.5, over at -115 or -120. We are seeing a couple of books here. Mostly the square books have moved to 6 under 15 or 6 under 20. So we'll talk about the only hockey game, but kind of a move here to the over with Devils and Kings. Also, Drake and Illinois Chicago. We took some steam here to the under in this one. It was 131.5, but we moved to here 130 or so right now with some steam here with Drake and Illinois Chicago. All right. Also, steam came in Belmont and Northern Iowa. Oh, no, we're all caught up. We're all caught up. Let's go back to the games here. Let's see what else we got. We have Abel. He likes the LA Kings, I think, already. All right, next up, we're going to go to the Bulls and the Wizards here in this one. And you got the Bulls favored on the road, -5.5. And the total here, 237.5, maybe higher than this. I want to say 237.5, 238, 238.5, like a auctioneer, it feels like right now in this one with the Bulls and the Wizards today. Yeah, I mean, these teams have had a few overs, but man, they haven't been necessarily overwhelming here. And 4 of the last 5 meetings between these two teams have gone under. Chicago's gone under in 5 of their last 6 games overall coming into this one. Washington has covered 4 of their last 5 games at home, but the Bulls have covered 4 of their last 5 matchups against Washington. The Bulls have won 2 straight games here right now, beating Charlotte and beating Milwaukee at home. For Washington, they're coming off of a pair of losses, back-to-back losses to the Knicks, 2 games in 3 nights. Against the Knicks. Chicago is 4-2-1 against the spread as a favorite this season. See what you guys have maybe in this one with the Bulls taking on the Wizards tonight in Washington. We'll go to the chat here and see what you guys have in this matchup. Zach LaVine questionable in this one. Here we go with our chat comments. Start off with Curtis says he's got the Bulls to cover. Thomas says the Bulls may be hanging around here. Jermaine's got a prop on the rookie to hit his 3 prop. Alvin says, what is the Magic Road record this season? Oh, let me get that for you. I'm sorry I missed that, Alvin, on the previous game, but definitely help you out here. Magic on the road this season, 7 wins and 10 losses. Abel likes the Bulls here. Sir Mackey says this is going to be the Wizards at home. Cash Kane says Bulls money line. Nasty Nate's going to roll with those Booch threes. We know Mike. I mean, does Mike? Does Mikey Money have a Vucevic jersey? This guy's his favorite player. But when you have it zeroed in on what the guy's going to do, you just keep using it. I mean, there's no reason not to. It's not cheating. It's just taking advantage here. Rich says, Bulls, and over. Fernando leans to the over here in this one. And yeah, I know I came on kind of hinting about the total is pretty high. I do think it has a pretty strong chance of going over. It doesn't feel like these guys are overwhelming, if you know what I mean. This season, I mean, look at the trends; they're not necessarily terrifically over. In fact, the Bulls are 2-5 to the under as a favorite, and they're 3-7 to the under in their last 10 games overall. Now they are 10-7 to the over on the road, but I think the matchup itself just lends itself to a possible over in this game, even though Chicago's been going under here of late. Wizards are still, they're not winning games at all, but they are just 11-18 against the spread overall. 6-4 though against the spread in their last 10 coming in. So I'm going to go with the Wizards here plus the points in this one. All right. Let's see here. Sir Mackey likes Kessler for a double-double. And I'll take a double-double as well with mustard grill, extra toast. Tom says he's got the Bulls in this one. All right, we'll keep it moving here right now in the NBA with the Nets taking on the Raptors here with the Nets 12-20 coming in. The Raptors 7-26, and the Raptors are on a big time losing streak right now, no doubt about it. They continue to struggle here right now. They're on an 11-game losing streak at this point. They failed to cover the spread in 7 of their last 8 games at home. 9 of the last 10 meetings between these two teams have gone under the total, with Brooklyn and Toronto. And boy, it just feels like the way things are going, why wouldn't it go under again? You've got Toronto here having gone under in uh, 5 of the last, let me see, what did I say? A 9 straight, 11 straight, 9, oh, 9, 9 of 10, 9 of 10 meetings. Okay, Brooklyn, though, has won 8 of the last 9 meetings between these two teams coming in. And maybe the Nets were a little bit better in some of those games. Maybe they weren't. As after all, it's been Toronto that kind of has been making the money a little bit. Funny is, this is like two of our money making sorry teams for the most part. These two teams are a combined 37 and 25 against the spread this year. So you got to try to find the right role. It feels like here. Maybe I can rely on the Nets series history a little bit over the Raptors to kind of keep it going here for the most part. Now, Raptors did win. Let's see, it was no. Uh, Brooklyn won 101 to 94 back on December 19th at Toronto. So right back here, Brooklyn's already won it here. They've won the last 2 meetings in here. Like I said, 9 of the last 10, but also um, the loss was at Toronto last February. Toronto got a big win in that one, but still, it's been a all Brooklyn Nets series for the most part when these two teams have met. Let's go to the chat. See if you like this game. Shouldn't spend too much on this one. Abel likes his in and out animal style. Thomas is on Brooklyn here. I went to a local joint yesterday and tried to get a bacon cheeseburger, and I looked at the receipt when I was driving off, and I noticed it was $2 less, and I didn't get my bacon. Man, I was very disappointed. I mean, on New Year's Eve, I wanted a bacon cheeseburger, and they forgot the bacon. Here is Rich is on the Nets, or as we call him, the Bets, but he's on the Nets. Sir Mackey's got Simmons for a game, it looks like. Here, let's see. Fernando likes the under in this one. I'm going to take the Nets on the road here. Sir Mackey's ready to send D'Lo to China. Hey, I like watching those games. Certainly, I didn't have any picks in Chinese basketball this morning, but
critical notice.
Looks like we're going to get some postponements over there in championship play in England today. Here's also a move that came in while we were talking a little college basketball. The only game on the extra board today between Howard and Yale. We're seeing steam to the under between Howard and Yale. Big time steam in this one. This one was as high as 151, but we're seeing it down to 148 here between Howard and Yale. It probably is even lower than that now. Yale's been going under, I think, for sure, but Howard's been an over, right? So I think I got that right anyway. All right, give me the Brooklyn Nets in the NBA game here. Bad matchup. Probably talked about it a little bit too long here. All right. Let's see here. Jerry Reg is happy that I'll live longer, but I eat so much bacon. How can I go on another? Here's more rainouts here in England today. Fernando talking about the injury factor in the game with Brooklyn and Toronto with Cam Thomas. He's scheduled out. I think this is his rest day today. RJ Barrett questionable for the Raptors. I think he might make the lineup though here. We'll see on that one. All right. And Tom's on the Nets here. Patrick in Ottawa. It's nice to see you, Patrick. Thank you for stopping by. Happy New Year. And Let's see here. Curtis was saying was it In and Out, but it was not In and Out. No, I don't think In and Out has bacon though, right? That's part of their
Critical
that's
notice.
part of their shtick. All right. Thomas says, and we got enough Brooklyn action here to be a consensus play. How about that? We got a three-teamer so far here today. And wow, that's
Critical notice.
incredible, actually. Okay, here we go. We got to keep it going here right now. The Pelicans taking on the Heat tonight, and the Heat going to be a 9-point favorite in this one. Call it 8.5 right now. Total maybe going down here to 220.5. This New Orleans Pelicans team right now on a losing streak here at this point. To not good for sure for the Pels. They've lost 14 straight games on the road here, as well as their losing streak at this point has been bad. Miami's covered the spread in 14 of the last 18 games against the New Orleans Pelicans here. New Orleans has gone over in 4 straight games right now. They are 15-12 to the over as an underdog, but just 7-8 to the under. On the road. Miami here right now, just 14-16 against the number, but New Orleans 3-12 against the spread on the road. So could it be a blowout here maybe for the Heat in this one? Miami's dominated this series. 6 of the last 7 meetings between these two teams have gone under. The Steam came in on the under as well, but maybe the Sharps prefer the over. So maybe I'll need further investigating. I don't even know if this total is going to make my card. I'm going to go with the Miami Heat here to roll against New Orleans today and keep the pressure on at this point. New Orleans in a bad way here at this point. You look at where they stand. I mean, we haven't talked about no one, just not an issue to talk about Zion here because he's out. But if you think about what's going on right now with Zion and what he was supposed to mean to this franchise right now, it's been not only with Ingram out, and it just hasn't been. It's not repairable here at this point without the star player, and you hope he can come back and he really hasn't shown what he can do. Yeah, there were moments of brilliance, not even worth discussing here at this point. Jimmy Butler, this is it, right? We're waiting tonight to see, expect him in the lineup. And like I said, if he returns to this lineup, I expect Jimmy Butler to remain with the Miami Heat this season. I'm just a guy speculating, but I don't know. The way they do business down there does feel like if he's in. Rozier, he is suspended for this game off of that fight the other night. So we'll see here. Let's go to the chat and see what you guys have in this one with the Pelicans taking on the Heat. Here we go. We've got Rich says it's tough for the Heat to get these big numbers here right now. Yeah, they're not a great spread team, but I'm going to rely on their dominance over New Orleans here, and the fact that New Orleans had dismal 3-12 road spread record. Patrick does like the over here in this one, and Sir Mackey says, "Why is Jimmy in the lineup? Send him out of here." And Tom's with me on the Heat, and he says, "Happy New Year." All right, next up is the Jazz taking on the Knicks. Hey, good game, right? Come on, let's give the Jazz some credit for what they've done, at least offensively. They still have lost 4 in a row right now, but I think that they've played some tough teams. The Knicks are on a winning streak, no doubt about it. The Jazz were covering a bunch of games in a row before they lost to Denver the other night, 132-121. Doing a pretty good job here right now, covering numbers, and that's all that matters really to us. But the Knicks still here, not bad necessarily in these type of roles. New York here 5 straight victories right now. They've gone over in 5 of their last 6 games at home. They're 19-14 to the over this season. Utah talking about this improved offense, and yeah, they're giving up the points big time, but they are 8-1-1 to the over this season in their last 10 games. They're 12-5 to the over on the road here. In fact, they've gone over in 9 of their last 10 games on the road. Right now, have the Utah Jazz. So New York right now is an 8-game winning streak here overall, but Utah, they're getting the money in some of these games. Let's see what you guys want to do here in this one with Utah putting up all these points. The widely reported steam came on the under. I don't know if that was on the show. I'm trying to remember if we may have been just before the show, but it knocked it down here from 131 from 231 and a half, and we're all the way down here to 229 right now in this one. So let's take a look and see what you guys want to do here with the Jazz and the Knickerbockers on what night is it? Wednesday night, New Year's night. All right, go to the chat here and see what you have. I'm going to start off with Elliot. And thank you to Elliot here. Dirty Red says, oh, he's talking about the last game there. Thank you, Reg. Elliot says, Knicks and over here. Cash Kane says, hey, you got Brunson questionable still. Don't overlook it when he's out of this lineup. But I'm gonna they are a big favorite here. I don't know if we've seen anything totally consistent with Brunson and this recent injury spell here. I kind of want to think he'll make the lineup. Rich says Nixon over in a parlay. Jazz plus the points here for Abel. And Dana Delp on the Jazz. Oh, I'm sorry. Knicks and under here for Elliott in this one. All right, I guess that's kind of going to do it for you guys in this one. And I'm going to lay the points with the New York Knicks here over Utah in this one. I'm gonna try the Knicks here. I know Utah's been covering pretty well here, but give me the Knicks here to roll Utah. I think this one actually could be a wild score here tonight. Probably going to use it as a premium on the total, so I'll take the Knicks. So minus the 13 points. The Mavericks and the Rockets here in this one. You've got the Rockets, a 5.5 point favorite. The total 222 or so, it feels like right now. I'll update the line. Just seen a slight move to the Rockets and the over here in this one for the Rockets here. Houston's won 10 of their last 11 home games coming into this one. Dallas has covered the spread in 5 of their last 6 games when coming off of a loss. Dallas has gone over in 12 of their last 17 games on the road. Dallas has also defeated Houston in 5 of the last 6 meetings here at Houston. 4 of the last 5 meetings between these two teams have gone under the total. And Houston on a roll right now, winning 13 of their last 16 games at home. They're 21-11. The Dallas Mavericks 20-13. A great matchup tonight for sure. Houston 19-13 against the spread overall. 10-6 against the spread at home. Coming in, let's take a look at the chat. See what you guys want to do here with the Mavericks and the Rockets in Houston tonight. Kyrie is the big news factor here. He is probable in this game. Still no Luka, of course. We'll continue to mention him frequently with him being a superstar and all. But you have Clay here, probable for Dallas in this one. Marshall questionable, or he's out actually with a suspension here currently. Thompson is out for sure for the Rockets. His suspension, remember, is for 2 games. actually. And, Eason, with that leg injury, man, you've got to really be concerned about Eason. I want to mention the steam that's just rolled in here because we're seeing a move on both the side and the total in college basketball. It was one of the games we're going to at least touch on here, but Connecticut and DePaul. We've seen Connecticut was a 12-point favorite, but they are now up to 12 and a half here, and the total moving here even more drastically to the under here. It was 147, but we're seeing it now at 145 and a half. Connecticut and DePaul today in the college basketball. Okay, go ahead with the chat here with
System play.
Connecticut taking on the Mavericks taking on the Rockets here, and see what you guys have in this one. We're going to start it off with Cash Kane says lay it with the Rockets. Rich is on the Rockets. Elliot's on the Rockets. Uh-oh, here we go. We're getting Rockets. Oh, this is a consensus play. I can see it already. It's all Rockets. All Rockets in the chat right now. How about it? Here's Rockets by 10. Oh, well, Kane, he already said Rockets, but James Parham is on the Rockets. Curtis is on the Rockets here. Here's the Dirty Reg on the Mavs. Here's Abel on the Mavs. Okay, maybe that is going to even it out here a little bit. And Fernando says, I've got to have Lively in the lineup if I'm going to take the Mavs in this one, and I don't know if I can help Fernando on this one because I'm not sure. I think it's questionable, and I think we're going to have to wait and see with Lively. So it doesn't feel like it made it to consensus there after all, with a little bit of comeback there on the Rockets here with you guys tonight. So like I said, Dallas has had a pretty good run against these guys, but still no Luka. So what can you do here in this one? All right. I'm going to end up on the under here with the Rockets and the Mavericks tonight. All right. Keep coming now in the NBA. The Hawks are taking on the Nugs. Here you got the Nuggets, just a 5-point favorite here against the Hawks tonight. Call it 5.5 right now. And woo, look at that total. Atlanta comes in here hot with a 4-game winning streak right now. Denver has won 2 in a row here as well. Win and covers over Houston, over Detroit. That's okay. Or Utah and Detroit, pardon me, for Denver. For Atlanta, though, wins and covers over Minnesota, Chicago, Miami, and Toronto. It's the Hawks that are one of the talks of the league right now as they start to make a move a little bit here with their record of 18-15. They've done a really nice job here right now. They're 11-7 against the spread as an underdog. Denver just 7-14-1 as a favorite. One of the worst favorites in the league so far are the Nuggets, and they really haven't gotten it going yet. I say that they're 18-13, but they maybe have been more dominant in the past. 5 straight meetings between these two teams have gone over, including 5 of the last 6 meetings here in Denver. These two teams are massive over teams. They're 42-20 to the over this season. 2/3 of their games, more than 2/3 of about 2/3. I think there's a couple of pushes in there, so round it up. 2/3 of the team's games have gone over here for the most part this season. Although Atlanta, I will say, they are a much more predominant over when they are favored rather than when they are an underdog. But still, does feel like it's all over city when it comes to these two teams for sure. They're going over this year. They're going over in each of their 2 matchups this season. Denver's covered 7 of the last 8 meetings between these two teams. But again, Denver, one of the worst favorites going here at this point. So let's see if you guys can be swayed in this one with Atlanta and Denver. Denver's won 7 of the last 8 meetings between these two teams over the last 4 years. And They've already had their first meeting this year, and Denver won it at Atlanta 141 to 111. They also won the last meeting last year 142 to 110. So it's a Denver blowout almost every time when it comes to this matchup. All right, go to the chat here and see what you have. Atlanta definitely, out of their minds here right now a little bit. Cash Kane says, take it with the Hawks. Rich Stubbs says, give me Atlanta on the money line. Curtis will take the Nuggets on the money line. Elliott says, I will not be swayed, and I will still roll with the Nuggets here. And Elliott likes the over. Abel says, take the Hawks there. And let's see here. I think Thomas is saying that the Houston Rockets were a consensus play. Remember, for consensus play. Yeah, I misread it there, but I think he's saying that the Rockets ended up as a consensus play in that matchup with Dallas. It definitely was some support. It felt like maybe 4-2 or 5-2. I think in the Rockets game. I don't know if it was overwhelming, but it definitely was more of the chat all stars on the Rockets in that one. Abel likes the over here. Oh, there's Thomas. He's kind of cleaning up the. Hey, I want to say hello and welcome to Marco Carrasco. Happy New Year, and thank you, Marco, for commenting in the chat. Nice to have you. He's asking about the Miami BC game, and I'm going to have a pick in that game here coming up in just a few moments. And here is, let's see here. Elliott thinks that the Nuggets will find a way here and kind of end. And I'm going to take them. I'm also going to take them. I'm taking the Nuggets here in this one against Atlanta tonight. I know Atlanta's been hot. We've been on them a little bit, but I favor the Nuggets here. Actually, I think this number might be a little bit more reasonable. Patrick likes the Nuggets and the over. Jermaine's got some prop action there. Fernando on the over there. I think we've got 4 plays here right now, Curtis. We've got Detroit, we've got Brooklyn, we've got the Rockets, and we have the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Jermaine's got some props as well. We're going to keep it rolling. We're almost done with the NBA. One more game, 76ers and Kings. Here in this one, you've got the Kings favored by 6.5. The total 223.5 in this one. For Philadelphia, they've covered the spread in 9 of the last 10 meetings against the Kings when they are an underdog. The Kings here are a considerable favorite despite they snapped their losing streak last time out. They definitely were in a funk, had to fire the coach. Everyone got mad, but they did beat Dallas 110 to 100 last time out at home as an 8.5 point favorite. Sacramento just 11-21 against the spread this season, including 5-13 against the spread at home. They've only lit the beam 7 times in 19 home games so far this season. For Philadelphia, they are 12-18 against the spread, but they are 8-8 against the spread on the road. That's where they've done their best work. They're 4-10 against the spread at home. So actually getting away from the home has been okay for Philadelphia, and they've been winning their road games. So as much as we want to make fun of them this year for their sub 500 record, all of a sudden they're playing well with a 4-game winning streak, and they are 8-2 in their last 10 games overall, 8-8. Straight up on the road. Now they are just 3-13 straight up as an underdog, but they were having some funky problems, and Philadelphia's won 10 of the last 11 meetings between these two teams overall. So the Sharps might be pointing to Sacramento here, but I think Philadelphia might be in an okay spot in this one to get the money here. Maybe the line indicates that it should be a blowout, but again, Sacramento, they were in a bad way before getting that last win, and it's been Philadelphia that's been hot. All right, 5 of the last 6 meetings between these two teams have gone under. Let's go to the chat, see what you have here. And And Curtis is going to be on the Kings here. He says, when you got Embiid out, that's when you fade him a little bit. He's definitely out of this game, but he's missed plenty of games so far this season. We know that. Played about what is he playing about? Third, I want to say a third of the games so far this season for Joel Embiid. And Elliot says their stars are having a great stretch here. Lowry's questionable, however, as well in this one. Keegan Murray is doubtful for the Kings. Abel says take the Sixers. I'm going to take the Sixers here still without Embiid, Maxey, right? Uh, right. What Rich says. What Rich says here. Maxey plays. It feels like he knows how to carry this team, man. Even in clutch moments like the other night when Embiid was out. Here's 76ers for Abel plus the points. Patrick says take the Kings on the money line. Yeah, the Kings are at home there. And Jermaine's got plenty of props here, and I'll take the Philadelphia 76ers plus these points on the road tonight against the Kings. And that's it for the NBA. Let's go to the ice right now quickly for our one game here with the Devils taking on the Kings at LA here tonight. You have it is pretty much a pick 'em. Maybe you could make the Kings here now a favorite. I'm gonna sneak them in there as a favorite here just to show maybe which team has the favoritism here, and I'm gonna juice up this total big time after that steam move. It's mostly 5.5 over 25. It feels like at this point, maybe it is 6 under at some spots here, including some very square books offshore. But what are you going to do here in this one with the only game in the NHL today at 6:07 Eastern, 3:07 Pacific, with the New Jersey Devils taking on the Kings? I'm expecting Allen in there. Some are speculating that it could be Markstrom here, but I think you got to go with Allen in this one. And maybe that's why we're seeing the line move here slightly. Not that Allen is a terrible downgrade, it feels like, necessarily from Markstrom at this point, but there's no doubt that, look, the Devils to me are still a team that could surprise. They've always been a disappointment. It feels like right now when it's time to reach the postseason. But I took a stab on the Devils to win the title this year, and just as part of my futures portfolio. But the Devils have lost their last 2 games. The Kings have won their last 2 games. Devils on the road here, lost to Carolina, lost to Anaheim. Kings with wins over Edmonton and Philly last time out. But good matchup here. 2 strong teams tonight. And let's see if you guys want to play this one here. I've lost the goalie computer because there's only one game, so neither goalie's confirmed yet. So didn't really have it ready to go, but in fact, several I refreshed, and the sites are agreeing now with me, or agreeing with the beat writers anyway, that Allen will be in there. 5, 6, and 1 with a 3.16 ER goals against average here. So go ahead. If you guys want to play this game tonight, let me know. I'm going to take the Kings here as my man. I kind of want. I don't know if I'll get to a premium action. I'm using the Kings here right now on the show. That's what I'm going to do. I'm taking my Kings to win against the Devils tonight. And let's see here with Devils and over here for Cash Kane. And LA Kings for Abel. Also here we got Philly Eagle Flyers says Kings money line. He's going to go over first period. Both teams to score over 1.5 in the first period and over 5.5 for the game. Elliot says, who did you guys have in the chat for the Pistons and the Magic? The chat took the Pistons, Elliot. The chat took the Pistons. Cash King said it right there. Ramon on Magic. Ramon's on the Magic. The chat's on the Pistons. So, right? That's what he said. Look. See, Fernando says we had the Magic. I think Fernando says we, me and Fernando. But the chat is on the Pistons. Make no mistake. Right? The consensus there. All right. All right. Hey, I don't think we'll spend much time on this one. I'm going to take the Kings. I don't know if I can get to the total on a premium. So, New Jersey's, they've been going under for sure, I believe, on some of these West Coast swing games. And score here back they played just a couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and it was 3-1. New Jersey won that one at home, but LA's won 7 straight games at home right now. My Kings, baby. I'm going to take the Kings here tonight. All right, let's go quickly now and wrap up the show here. We got a drawing to do here today, and let me see if I didn't screw it up though. And whoops. Oh man, hope I didn't screw this up, you guys. I don't want to cancel the drawing. No, I think we got it here. I'm one of those guys that has 50 million tabs open on the screen at once. So we've got it here. Please comment in the chat. I think I might have turned it on late. I think we've had more than 17 commenters, so hopefully we didn't miss too many in the show. But if you have any question about you not being in the drawing, please type something into the chat. If you are, insistent on being eligible for the consensus parlay today, it's a 4-teamer right now. We'll see if we can get a few more in college basketball. Let's go to the college game tonight. Today, these are mostly day games right now with Miami and Boston College here in this one. I think someone was commenting in the chat about this game already, saying what's going on here in this one with Miami and BC and conference play today here on January 1st. How about that? Miami, we know that they've struggled, right? I mean, in conference play in the ACC so far, is whatever you want to say about Miami right now. They are 4-8 overall. They've lost now, what is it? 11 straight conference games. Can that be right here for Miami? Oh my goodness. They've lost last game to Mount St. Mary's. Remember, man, this is going haywire here, it feels like, for Miami at this point. And let's see what you guys want to do here. BC comes in right now with a record of 8-5. They've won 2 of their last 3 games. They beat Fairleigh Dickinson. They didn't cover. They also didn't cover against Stonehouse. They lost to SMU by 26 points. So they're not having a great time of it necessarily here either. But Miami just pretty dismal for sure with this 4-8 record, 4-8 against the spread. At least BC's 5-3 against the spread at home so far. 7 of the last 9 meetings between these two teams have gone over. But so listen to this. Okay, we know Miami's struggling. Boston College, not great either. But believe it or not, Boston College has dominated this series of late. Boston College has won 5 of the last 6 years here in at BC against the Canes, and they've also covered 8 of the last 9 meetings here at home against Miami. Now, I heard a pretty famous college basketball handicapper talking about long-term trends, and I'm not about the long-term trends. I think when you hear me give out the trends, because I'm a heavy trends guy, I focus on short-term trends because of the turnaround, but I do also think there is something to college basketball long-term trends when one program continually beats another here. I think he was referring to 20-year trends in college basketball. I think even a 10-year sample size is interesting, to say the least. Here is one team that, Miami's had its share of ups and downs. So is BC in college basketball. But Miami has to take the trip up there to BC. Whatever's happened, it hasn't been good. Miami's actually beaten BC. Talk about long-term trends. They've beaten them in 18 of the last 24 meetings, basically 10 years of Miami being more heavily favored and not covering the spread. But to make a long story short, I'm going with Boston College here in this one at plus 1.5 at this point. And the total here is at 144 now. It's gone down here in this one. I don't know if I'm seeing it that way. Like I said, 7 of the last 9 meetings have gone over between these two teams. And I think there's reason to believe that, let me see if I have it here, that we might get an over here. I'm just going to take Boston College as my play. I won't take too much more time up in this one. But Miami, you see a lot. I'm kind of equating today to like a Saturday game, and they go over, man, and so many of those afternoon tilts. So, all right, here, let's get some chat here maybe in this one with.
I think it's a combination of the two. I think some people have way more great leadership qualities.
Did I say something to make?
But I think you can learn a lot too. We try to create a strong.
Yes, I've got Warren Buffett coming up on my. That's how it is here with the morning steam, right? I mean, my advisor here, Warren Buffett, sending me a text, I think is what it was. All right. Oh, look at this. Elliot says Miami can't cover this at all here. So I'll take BC.
This is good playing.
What did I miss there? Okay, Elliot on BC here. Jared likes ASU's team total under there, I think. Thank you, Jared. Nice to see you today. He's got Texas under their team total. Thanks, Jared. Hey, Sakori's here today. Nice to see Sakori in the chat. I'll take Boston College. Nothing else from you guys. How about a decent matchup here, it feels like, with Greensboro and Wofford. So I think it's worth mentioning here. Both teams, got Greensboro 7-6, Wofford 6-7, but it does feel like these teams, played some tough games, and maybe they'll be a little bit better in conference here moving forward. But just a pretty close matchup here. So I thought we could take a look at this one with Wofford. They've won at home here so far, 4-0 at home so far for Wofford, and Greensboro just 1-4 on the road. These two teams here so far, the widely reported steam did come in on the under here in this one, but I don't know if I'm going to go under. I think I prefer the over in this one with Greensboro and Wofford. I think we're going to have some numbers on this one. 4 out of the last 5 meetings between these two teams at Wofford have gone over. Greensboro has defeated Wofford in 4 of the last 5 meetings, and Wofford is, like I said, so far pretty good at home. I'm going to take the over in this one. That steam has me worried a little bit to the under, but maybe it's created some value for us here right now. Total is down to 137 here at some spots. So Wofford still a favorite. In fact, I'm showing Wofford now up to -2.5 here in this one, but give me the over with Greensboro and Wofford here. And Elliot says Wofford's pretty hot here at home right now. 5 consecutive games at home. I thought there were 4. Maybe it means last game too. Elliot here likes the over with me. All right. Probably not a lot of opinion on that one, but I want to squeeze that one in. Now, Connecticut and DePaul. This one we've already seen on the move here. So let me see. Oops. Yeah, let me go ahead and fix this. Connecticut and DePaul. Connecticut 12.5 now, and the total is 1. Oh, I'll call it 146. Definitely moved lower here. Let me put it up on the screen. There we go. With Connecticut and DePaul. Connecticut 10-3, but DePaul's 9-4. And we said DePaul, big time improvement this year for sure. But Connecticut has had their way, of course, in years past, because DePaul has been very, very bad before their improvement here a little bit this year. For Connecticut, they've got it all together, it feels like again. Far removed from the trip to Hawaii when everybody wanted to bury him a little bit. DePaul's won at home so far 9 of 10 games this season. Now Connecticut just 2-0 on the road. DePaul here 0-3 against the spread as an underdog so far. Now, no doubt they are improved here, but I think this is too much. I've got to take Connecticut. The steam came in on Connecticut. Sharps aren't afraid. And I don't know if DePaul is ever going to be a public dog or anything. I think Connecticut will probably take most of the action here, even today. Maybe DePaul is the right side for Sharps, but I'm going to take them here that Connecticut, you know, maybe there's some perception that they're still vulnerable and laying double digits on the road. And in fact, they failed in their last 2 games despite winning against Butler and against Xavier. But those are tougher teams here. And DePaul has failed in 2 of their last 3 overall. They did beat up on Loyola, Maryland, but they failed against Northwestern. They failed against St. John's in conference play. They also failed against Providence. So in conference play, it hasn't been good so far. So I've got to take Connecticut here in this one. Cash Kane will lay it with Connecticut. UConn is going over here, and I think Elliot's seeing what I think a lot of people are seeing, that it still feels like people want to refer back to the Connecticut slow start. I think we could put that aside here right now. Maybe they're not, that championship super Connecticut team, but you got to think that they'll still be a major factor here this season. So I'm going to take them to roll here because DePaul, all their success seems like it was non-conference play, improved against the early games, early opponents, but maybe they're starting now that they're in the Big East play, starting to run up against the good teams here. Okay. North Carolina is taking on Louisville in a good one here in the ACC. A couple of the ACC games we kind of skipped over. Cal and Pitt, Stanford and Clemson. Cal and Pitt, obviously the prototypical ACC matchup. But North Carolina taking on Louisville here, with Carolina coming in just 8-5 so far. Louisville just 8-5. Hey, this isn't your daddy's North Carolina Louisville matchup, but both teams have won 2 straight here right now. Carolina, those were non-conference wins. They beat Campbell, didn't cover, laying 28. I didn't feel like they were ever going to cover in that game. And UCLA won against, or North Carolina won against UCLA. Remember, we had Carolina in that one. Louisville here off of wins against Eastern Kentucky. They didn't cover 21 points, but they did cover in a big win over Florida State. They also got the money against Kentucky last time out. This total's pretty high for sure, and it is going to be a high-scoring game, but I'm going to say that it's a little bit too high, at least for the matchup here. Now, both teams have been, let me look at it here clearly, because the money is heavy, or the tickets are heavy on the under here, but Carolina is 9-4 to the over. However, Louisville here is 4-9 to the under so far this season. So I'm going to end up taking the under here. If Louisville can keep these games under at home, 2-7 to the under so far, maybe there is something to that. Here. That doesn't feel right, though. I think that's wrong. I want to get this right. Help me out in the chat. I know I have this wrong. I might be looking at the wrong. I have Louisville here. Pardon me, you guys. Yep, I guess it is right. 4-9 to the under so far this season. Man, let me take a look at this more closely. Okay, I better just leave this as my free play here with Louisville. Let me see, 78-76 against Eastern Kentucky. That was an under. Okay, so here it is. They've gone over in 3 of their last 4 games, but 4-9 to the under so far. Okay, I got it right. I was just looking at the wrong page of statistics. Go ahead and give me your plays here with Carolina. Here's chosen one on Carolina. Elliott says take Carolina to roll here, or to win anyway. Louisville for Curtis. Nasty Nate's on Carolina. Elliott's on Carolina. That's 4-1 to Carolina. That almost is a consensus play here almost. Elliott says Louisville hasn't reached 164 in 6 straight. So, okay, that's good enough for me. Let's take the under here. And I'm going to scratch off my little note here. I was obviously wrong on that, on my note on the total. I see Louisville as an under team. I wrote down over, but I had under as my pick. So, okay. All right. I got one more, and then this show is over. Thank you, everybody, for being here today. Villanova taking on Butler in this one. The widely reported steam did come in on the over in this one. And, okay, let's take a look at it. I wasn't sure, but you have Villanova 8-5, Butler just 7-6, and Butler's on a losing streak, man. What's wrong with Butler right now? But they are at home in this one at Hinkle here in the matchup. So we'll see. Can they snap this losing streak a little bit? When these two teams meet, it feels like an over every time. 5 straight meetings between these two teams at Hinkle have gone over the total. 13 of the last 16 meetings between these two teams have also gone over. For sure. Kind of interesting, it feels like, because if you go to the Elliott Jameson database, it feels like that these Villanova conference games don't get anywhere close to this number. But let's see what you guys have. I'm probably just going to take Villanova here to keep it going. I like what they've done here despite the loss last time out. It ended their losing streak last time, and I know a lot of people are probably going to navigate to Butler as a home dog on a losing streak. They're due, but Villanova had conference covers against Seton Hall, 79-67. Now, they did lose to Creighton last time out on the road, 79-86. Villanova just 1-2 against the spread on the road, but Butler 4-5 against the spread at home. Villanova has not won on the road yet in 2 tries. Villanova 10-2-1 to the over this season, 8-1-1 to the over as a favorite, but Butler is 3-6 to the under at home so far, but 5-2 to the over as a dog. This one's pretty tough. See if we got anything here, and we'll wrap up the show. Thomas said UNC ended up as a consensus play to give us a 5-pack of games here, it looks like. Curtis says take Butler. And Elliott says he'll take Villanova and the under, and I'll take Villanova here in this one against Butler today. That's it for the morning steam here today. Enjoy the games. Let's do the drawing here and see who's going to get a chance for a 5-teamer today. You figure if we get 300 views before the first game goes off or so, that'd be pretty cool. We could win somebody maybe $60 here and get our second ever consensus winner here. But hey, don't forget, I'm going to have some premium picks up here in just a moment. I got them ready to go. I just got to fill them out really after last night celebrating the new year. So bear with me there. I'll get the plays up and we'll have a great day of action. Oops, I got the wrong banner here. Get my picks over at winnable.com/Ramon. Get my premium picks by clicking on the QR code in the lower right-hand corner of the screen. This is how you support me here on the channel, by subscribing to my premium picks. You can get today's picks for just $4. They're going to be up here in about 20 to 25 minutes. And then also you can get 1 week for $8. That's about $1 a day. Or you can get the 1 month for $20 with your promo code STEAM. It's about 50 cents a day. You're going to get, anywhere from 7, 10, 12 plays or more from me on a day like today. And I used to sell my picks over on a very, very popular website and network for $25, $35, even $45 a day. And I'd be selling 3 picks, 5 picks, 7 picks. that was good business, believe me. But that's not what I'm about. I want to come over here and be a man of the people. So still want to, I'm doing the morning steam here every day. Hopefully, get your support here. And look, as we embark on this new year, all I can do is ask for, just want to try to gain your credibility with my honesty and forthright approach with you guys. So hopefully keep coming back every day. And if you want to get some more plays from me, you can subscribe here using the Winnable app. I send out plays frequently throughout the day, usually pretty consistent time basis, and I'm a high volume player. So you don't have to play them all. You should realize the same results, but you can always know what I'm on some of the biggest matchups when you subscribe to my plays over at Winnable. And we're definitely hot in college basketball, especially with my totals right now. So check me out today over there at winnable.com/Ramon. Okay, that's going to do it. Let's go to the contest here. Oh, I blew it. Okay. There we go. Winnable/Ramon. Save 20%. Bring up the banner up here again so I can try to be a little more smooth with presenting our drawing here in this one. Let's take a look. We've got 22 entries. I might have blown it a little bit here with my timing on the drawing today. Apologies to anyone who didn't get in there, but still going to have a good drawing here. A few more people maybe checking out. There's Abel, he liked the Kings in that one. There comes our consensus plays here. And prayers up, says Elliot, to everyone in New Orleans. Man, that seems, New Orleans, come on. All right. And, I see Razor's just gone live here in a few minutes with the racing today. So let me head on over there today. I'm going to be up watching these games. No morning nap for me on the weekdays like sometimes I do when there's no major sports. Get my sleep in there, but not today on the big playoff day. Let's go with the drawing here. See what we got. Here we go. Sir Mackey, Cash Kane, Fernando, Dougie, Philly, AOD, Chosen One, Thomas, Dirty Reg, Rich Stubbs, James Parn, Jared Bush. Happy to have you as a contestant today to try to hit the 5-teamer. Go share the link, spread us out, and get us viral here. Get up to 1,000 views on this show. I'll put in a $10 parlay at a 5-teamer. How about that? That'll get you $200 today, Jared. So try to get us some views. Thanks, my friend. Appreciate everybody here on the morning steam. Catch you tomorrow 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific. Enjoy the games today, man. It's going to be awesome. Here, I think we're going to get, we obviously get 2 great games today, and maybe we'll get a third. Let me send you out of here with some steam that just came in, huh? How about it? Let's do this smooth here. There we go. Thank you for joining us on the morning steam. The last move here is, interesting, Miami of Florida and Boston College. We are seeing the steam come in here on the under right now with Miami and Boston College. It was 146. It's down to 144 here right now with Miami and Boston College. Thanks a lot, everyone. We'll catch you tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific, with more morning steam for the Sports Money Network. I'm Ramon Scott. So long.
Can't escape from the team called the morning steam. It's time to break one for cover. That's gonna cover, that's gonna cash. Then we make the 100-yard dash to the window. I don't know what you thought. It's Ramon Scott running so hot. Sports make money and we make money with sports money every single day. NFL, NHL, NCAA. Stay away from the juice, we might play a parlay. It's the morning steam. What? Ramon Scott. Sports money. What? Wake your ass up and let's get to